We got this trailer in today that I got to do an alignment on, and since it's a steer axle instead of just a regular trailer, I had to get a little bit creative on figuring this out, but it reminded me of an old school trick. I'm just using strings. So basically on this, just to set the alignment, since it's a solid axle in the rear, I put a string line around the back of the tire and then just got it to where it's just barely touching the front of the tire. And as you can see, it's a consistent gap on the front. So basically, if this was turned to the left, the tire would be pushing the string out a little bit, and it would show me that I need to turn the axle itself to get everything parallel. So I now know that this is perfect, and I can start pulling from a center point to the tires and then get my alignment from there. So let's say you're doing like a Volkswagen where you want to set the back toe adjustments. You could then do the string but extend it out farther and put one on each side. Then you can measure in between the strings to make sure they're parallel to each other, and then you would basically just measure off those strings to the tires themselves and be able to get that toe adjustment. I think it's like a 1/16 in on each side. And you can measure in between, like using the tread also, but this is a great way of getting it perfect, especially with a narrowed beam on the front, because you can just measure off of that string and not have to do any guesswork there. So I hope that makes sense. We all know that if you have a lowered Volkswagen, it's pretty hard to get a shop to align it. Getting it even onto their machine sometimes is very difficult unless they have a laser machine. But here's a cheap, easy way that you can do it yourself and pretty much set it perfectly. All right, hope that makes sense. If not, ask questions in the comments.